was what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Hamas, October 7. Hamas, October 7. Hamas.
All right, let's bring in my panel. Streamer Hasan Piker, journalist Emily Austin, uncensored contributor Esther Kraku, and podcaster James Barr. Well, Emily, I mean, on one level, I guess it was quite funny, but on another level, I didn't like what she did to Alec Baldwin. I've got no truck for Alec Baldwin whatsoever. And I think with this case that he's got hanging over him, I hope that justice is served, because ultimately he did fire the gun that killed that poor woman. But Hasan, here's the point I would make to you. A lot of people think a lot of these protesters at universities in America are performative. The ones who are chanting their support for Hamas, the ones who are chanting about intifada and pretending it's not about a violent uprising. I mean, do you accept that a lot of that is not only performative, but public demonstration of support for terrorism?
Absolutely not. I don't think that, I mean, all protests are technically performative, obviously, but there's a very clear-cut goal for the group of students at Columbia and many other universities. I was in Melbourne not that long ago, and I attended a Palestinian protest there, a Palestinian rally there, and the students there were also demanding the exact same thing, that they divest, their colleges divest from a lot of the companies that are aligned with the state of Israel, a lot of the companies that are directly involved in operations in the West Bank, a lot of the companies that are playing a role in the regular maintenance of the apartheid regime of Israel and helping Israel conduct an ethnic cleansing campaign. That is the ultimate goal. That is why they're trying to very clearly cause a little bit of a disruption and engage in.
But are you comfortable? Okay, but are you comfortable?
The most American thing you can do.
Are you comfortable with the ones who are seen chanting support for Hamas or chanting about intifada?
I am perfectly comfortable with people chanting about the intifada. As far as the Hamas thing goes, any kind of protest is always going to have a litany of random people, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. You have to look at the actual tangible goals that the protest movement is stating they're interested in. And I think that those goals, and I think you will agree with me on this, Piers, I think those goals are pretty valid overall. I think that they want to, one, recenter the attention to the genocide that is ongoing in Gaza, and two, demand that their tuition dollars do not go to operations in Israel. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a campus. There's going to be a sister campus that is being built in Tel Aviv right now for Columbia University. This means that Columbia University, which once housed the likes of the late great Edward Said and many others, and that currently has many Palestinian students who pay tuition for projects such as this one, will not be able to go to that sister campus. I find that abhorrent, but it's everyday existence in Israel.
Let me bring in Emily.
Now, you might be saying, wow, you cooked there, Hasan. And yes, of course I did. Just wait until everything falls apart, because this right here, in and of itself, the first 9 minutes and 55 seconds to 15, I put it out there. I'm there for a specific purpose. My goal is to, one, defend the students that are doing an honorable and just thing, and two, recenter the attention back to Palestinians who are being ethnically cleansed. Right? 6 minutes of that, it's great. Now wait. Now watch what fucking happens after.
You've been listening to all this. Your response?
With all due respect, Hasan, why do you feel that Columbia, or any college for that matter, owes you to divest from Israel? Why do you?
So let me just say, I did not respond to anything that she said here because I let her go. I let her cook. I wanted to, I thought it was going to be point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. So you'll notice when I snap.
I think your opinion is correct, because so far I heard the classic buzzwords: apartheid, discriminatory, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, which is funny because it's all the exact opposite. So if I may ask you, what about Israel is apartheid? You also just said the students in Israel, the campus in Israel would not allow Palestinians to join. Are you confused, or do you know nothing about the country of Israel? Because let me remind you, Jews are not allowed in the West Bank and Gaza. However, Arabs have full Israeli citizenship, have the rights, are members of the Knesset, which is the equivalence of, you can think of Congress.
Bro, she hit literally every talking point. Every talking point. There are Arabs in the Knesset, don't you know? Literally does not respond to what I'm saying. A Palestinian American student from fucking Columbia University cannot go to the school in Tel Aviv. They can't. That's ridiculous. Besides the point that, like, Columbia is participating in the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians by, doing these sorts of partnerships with the fucking state of Israel, which is doing that currently. I love that she tried to fucking speed around the Hasbara talking points. Now, obviously, in a normal situation, I go point by point by point by point, and I just fucking cook her ass, okay? But this is not a normal situation at all. This is hostile territory. Now, let me tell you something real quick. This lady, I do not know a single thing about her. I don't know anything about any of these ladies. I looked their names up last night. Found out that she was, pro-Israel. I was like, all right, she's going to be the fucking pro-Israel one. Then I found out this lady is a black conservative. However, she actually was phenomenal on this panel. Now, I'll just say this. When I found out she was black conservative, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a threesome. Like, this is fucked up. Everyone is going to be trying to fucking tackle me. This guy was a last second edition. I think it was supposed to be Blair White originally. I thought they were just going to fucking all rip into my ass. And then I just try to fucking sit there and do a 3v1, possibly a 4v1, as a matter of fact, because Piers does have the capacity to chirp. He is a big yapper, and he'll do that shit. The classic, let me catch a soundbite here shit that all journalists do. Anyway, let's continue.
And even prosecuted a former Prime Minister, Ehud Olmert, an Arab judge. So what apartheid exactly are you speaking about? What genocide? What ethnic cleansing? And secondly, how dare you
Classic.
It's okay to talk about an intifada. Let me remind you, the intifada, last time it happened in Israel, consisted of thousands of people dying in bus bombings. So are you saying that you support terrorism and killing innocent people?
Well, intifada simply just means revolution, and I'm an American, and in 1776,
violent
we did
revolution.
one of those, and it was pretty fucking good. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think the American Revolution was a pickle party? Of course not.
We also bombed Hiroshima.
We also bombed Hiroshima? What the fuck does that mean? What does that have to do with intifada? Was that a revolutionary act? That's not a revolution. There's just violence. There's a difference. Notice how I'm still keeping it kind of cool and cracking jokes about how 1776, baby, America, fuck yeah. Inside of me is a volcano, okay? And I think this was when I lost it. When she started with the how dare yous and the fucking crackhead Barney being the representative of the pro-Palestinian side, and the pink-haired twink coming in and being everyone is doing this for clout. It's just all reached a boiling point inside of me. And all the rage cage shit that I did the night prior, all of a sudden was gone. Slate clean. Do you understand? You are about to see a very different attitude from me. Because the whole, Israel is not an apartheid state. When she notices that I do have the smoke, as a matter of fucking fact, okay? When she realizes that I do have the freaking smoke, she just starts cutting me off.
Yeah, I know. And that was also unjust and unimaginably cruel. But of course, the Israel defender is also defending nuking civilians and killing them by the hundreds of thousands. Now listen, let's get back.
But when it goes
let's
against
refocus the conversation to the points that you made. Let's refocus the conversation to the points that you made.
Look,
you said,
just to remind everybody,
about?
I'm actually moderating this, but that's an interesting point that Emily just raised, Hasan. It does seem
Look. Notice how this fucking limp dick. This is when it's like, okay, he immediately goes, oh, you said violent revolution is justifiable in certain instances? Well, let's take it back to October 7. Let's take it back to October 7. It's October 7 time. Time to talk about October 7. Ah!
Very selective about the violence that you support. That when you support it, it's justified. When other people use things in a violent way that you don't support, it's unjustified. Seems like it's all skewed to what Hasan Piker thinks.
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I have talked about October 7 on this very same show, saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred on October 7 specifically. When you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every single revolutionary action, many good revolutionary actions. Obviously, America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with an atom bomb, that was not a very
was what
good
Hamas did on
moment
October
for
the 7th.
anybody. It was not a very good moment for human civilization at all.
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th. Was what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Hamas, October 7. Hamas, October 7. Hamas. It's like reflexive with these fucking dinguses, bro. It's been 7 fucking months, dude. 7 months. 30,000 dead Palestinians. And this cocksucker motherfucker is still like, October 7, do you condemn Hamas, baby? Tell me now, do you condemn it? Do you condemn Hamas? You must condemn Hamas. What's really interesting is I already fucking know that that's coming, so I already talked about it. But no, there is no real conversation. There is no real, why didn't you say lesser of two evils? I did, but it was way fucking at the end of this, okay? Thank God for my queen here, who I suspect we would not agree on much, but on this issue, she is gonna pop the fuck off, and she luckily comes in and like refocuses the conversation, because I'm losing my mind at this point.
An example of what you would call a justified revolution.
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've
the
literally
players,
just been
I look
reciting
at
a whole
the
load of
systems
them.
of oppression.
Why
when
are
we
you
are
avoiding-
analyzing it.
why
And
are you
do it
avoiding
too, Piers.
October the 7th?
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a
Okay.
million times
Well,
over.
let me ask you
I'd
one
like
more
to
time.
just
Hang
say-
on, hang on.
This is not what we're here to discuss.
Emily, hang on.
This is not what we're here to
Hassan,
discuss.
let me
She
just
said
ask you. Let me
very
just ask you
specifically
directly.
Israel-
Like, why is this the conversation? Why? You know my point. You know. And it's just like, now it's a fuck fest. Now it's a fuck fest. She's coming in, trying to fucking long dick. He's coming in, being like, no, condemn Hamas. He knows what my perspective is. I have said it on his fucking broadcast. He knows what it is. I've answered every single fucking question that he's asked me, but it doesn't matter because the conversation is not actually about hummus at all. The conversation is just for Piers to stand there and try to get a fucking clippable moment because he's still resentful that I, 1, said he's a stenographer for Israel, and 2, a baboon in a suit. Now, let me tell you something. Here's what I know. Piers, old school media guy. If you're cordial with him, if you like him, if you say nice things about him to his face behind closed doors, I'm 100% certain this conversation would have gone down differently. He would not be up my asshole trying to fucking clip and ship something, okay? But the reason why he's doing that is because he doesn't like me. Now, I like him more than he likes me. I'll tell you that much. Because I do think that at least for clout reasons or whatever, there's still a space for people. And I'm saying like Piers is doing this for clout reasons, for clicks, but at least there's a space still for pro-Palestinian conversations to be had. Okay? That's it. Let's continue.
It was not an apartheid state.
Let me ask you one more time. Do you believe what happened on October the 7th was a justified act of revolution? Yes or no?
I do not, and I do think that. Oh, wait, hold on. That's let me clarify. Let me clarify something very important here. events that unfolded on October 7 were atrocities. That much is clear. Those atrocities could have been avoided if Israel was not an apartheid regime. Israel has been an apartheid regime for 75 years.
Apartheid regime?
In the
because
early,
you keep repeating that.
no, you can't just chime in. You can't just chime in. You ask me a question. You want it?
Why
you ask me a question.
An
I'm going to give you an answer.
Because you're repeating
Israel
these lies.
has been an apartheid
Go
regime
ahead,
since
please.
its inception. Until
How so?
1967, Israel was an apartheid regime for the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs, as you called them. There was a two-tier criminal justice system. They were subjected to military court processes and not the civil court processes until 1967. After 1967, they got citizenship. There are obviously still many different social issues that pertain to the Palestinian citizens of Israel, the Arabs that are living in Israel, those who are not Jewish, of course. However, Israel currently is occupying the West Bank. There are more than 2 million Palestinians that live in the West Bank. Israel is illegally occupying the West Bank. There are checkpoints. There are license plates that restrict Palestinian travel. The Israeli operations in the West Bank have destroyed Palestinian statehood. Now, of course, all of this is readily available for those who want to learn about it, yourself included. I hope you look it up. B'Tselem is an Israeli human rights organization which declared Israel to be an apartheid regime in 2021, in the April of 2021. Amnesty International declared Israel to be an apartheid regime.
Don't fucking stop me, you baboon in a suit! Don't fucking stop me while I'm cooking, mate! The chef is in! The fucking chef is in! He's chefing! About to give you a fucking, what do they call it? The something smile? What's it called? The fucking something smile. What's it called, mate? A Chelsea smile, lad. A Chelsea green. Don't you fuckers stop it, you donkey. It's just like, bro, how are you gonna fucking put the weights on? You know what I mean? He's like, oh, you're fucking popping off. We have to stop. Hey, dude, please stop. The Glasgow green.
Let me, okay,
before
I move, okay, hang on. Before I just want to bring in our two British panelists here, but just finally, just to clarify, Hasan, I can't quite work out whether you said you do think October the 7th was an unjustified act.
He's like, hold on, you said Israel's an apartheid state, but let's get back to October 7th. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. And that's the point. He's trying to get me to be like, dude, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. What the fuck are we doing here is what he's trying to get me to say. Okay? So this is such a transparent one-note approach to the conversation. How many fucking times do I have to say it was horrific and unjustifiable? When they bring up apartheid, I think the best example to pop quickly is housing. In March, 3,500 housing units were approved for the settlements. Meanwhile, Palestinian building permits are rejected over 98% of the time, same as East Jerusalem, and are regularly expelled from their lands, be it the settlers or by court order. It touches on all the basic issues: land, settler, colonialism, apartheid, displacement. By the way, you're absolutely right. And I wanted to talk about building permits because, like, when the 98% one is so important as a point of contention. Like, it's such a valuable, powerful 1 second thing to say. And yet you will notice that I am trying to fucking mention that and it gets stopped every single time because we have to talk about October 7th. We have to keep talking about October 7th.
The revolution, or whether you change your mind. So can you clarify?
I think that violent means of maintaining an apartheid is inevitably going to yield violent retaliation.
So was it justified?
Something that is completely avoidable.
Was it justified?
Civilian deaths are never justified.
You know what, Hasan?
Hang on, Emily.
Literally boxing in the shower. No, I mean, I'm actually realizing that I did a better job than I thought I did. I was being a little, I mean, I do get way more unhinged. I'm snapping after this. Like, I thought at this point, I thought that I was like already angry, but I think I got way more angry. Have you considered getting professional media training? You can't treat these types of conversations like a good faith conversation. Brother, I've been doing this for 10 years. I am media trained. Okay? There is no matter of media training that you can give a situation like this. It's a fucking 2v1 where the host who controls the conversation is directly trying to stop me dead in my fucking tracks. What are you talking about? This is a contentious conversation. There's not a lot of like media training that can save you in this circumstance. I'm not like Prince Andrew over here talking about how I never sweat. Okay. Oh, I wasn't wearing my child diddling shirt on that day, as you can tell. So it must not have been the day that I was diddling children. There's an audio delay, and the fucking host is like very obviously trying to fucking stop the conversation from moving beyond the point that he wants it to stay at. Also, yeah, what is the media trainer going to tell me? Fucking, hey, everything that you've said in defense of Palestinian lives, stop that. Here's some media training for you. Shut the fuck up about Palestine and start dick riding Israel into oblivion until you get all of the fucking brand deals back. You know what I mean?
Emily, Goldberg, Poland's mother in the eyes. No, you look this person's mother in the eyes and you tell him that this was justified. You tell him his arm being blown off and being held in captivity for 200 days is justified.
I do love that the Israel defender has no capacity to fucking hear anything I'm saying. What are you talking about?
No, this is it. When I started cursing, it was over. It was like when this shit popped, when she said this shit, it was Jover for me. You feel me? It was Jover. Oh, she got props.
If you're not going to respect me and listen to what I have to say, which, by the way, of course you don't respect.
Gaza?
Oh, if you talk over each other, nobody can hear you.
I think it's the entire world knows.
No, it is you think.
Hang on, Emily, please. Let me handle this, Emily. Hassan, just before I come to the two people who are with me here, I just need some clarity here, because it seems like you're dancing around whether you think October the 7th was justified or not.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this back and forth masturbation? I've already given you my fucking position.
Why are you doing this?
I'm sick and tired of repeating it over and over again.
Okay,
because it's Jews, it's okay.
Ask this demon next to me wearing a fucking IDF dog tag.
Only when it's Jews, it's okay.
Please stop shouting at each other.
Next to me wearing an IDF dog tag if she actually thinks Israel's actions are justifiable.
Bring them home.
Do you see
to
me
bring the hostages home. The hostages that you rightly believe.
Yeah, she loved the dog tag one. Immediately, she's like, look at my propaganda. It actually says bring the hostages home. It's like, bitch, you're wearing that specifically because it's a fucking IDF dog tag. Just because it says bring the hostages home doesn't change that reality. You are directly... It's like if I fucking walked on there with the Al-Qassam Brigade Band-Aid on my fucking head. Okay? It's not even like that because, as you guys know, Hamas is the lesser evil in this fucking conversation. Yeah. It is so gross that Israel defenders will turn around and fucking be like, but look at the hostages. Shut the fuck up. You killed all the hostages, dumb fuck. Which I will bring up in a second. You'll see. You should have? No, I did. Don't. If you think I didn't, I did. I did. It's just, it's going to get lost in the sauce because there's so much back and forth, and I don't know if they cut it out or not.
All right. You know what it is.
I'm going to give you two. I'm going to let you two calm down. It's pointless. We cannot hear you when you talk over each other. Every time recently, I have someone from both sides on. Like,
look how happy she is. Look how happy she is. Now here's the second thing. Here's the second thing that makes me go fucking crazy, because Piers spent the last 10 minutes hyper focusing on October 7, even though I gave my perspective 11 times, right? Now they are going to literally center the conversation about, well, you guys are being mean to one another. See, we can never be productive. And it's just like, dude, you cut me off. You won't let me fucking speak. I was cordial. I let her go through her fucking points early on, and I was going to go piece by piece and address them. But you won't let me do that. You cut me off multiple fucking times. You should be like, oh, what about October 7? What about October 7? And it's so fucking disgusting. And then, obviously, I'm fucking pissed off at this point because, like, the atrocities are ongoing, and we're not talking about them. And the conversation is like deviating into a shit show. And now the conversation has moved beyond the aesthetics of the conversation that we're having.
It goes like this.
I'm wearing this rusty necklace.
Please,
because
can you
there are
listen to
200
me,
Israeli
Emily?
Civilians in Gaza right now.
Can you
as
stop
hostages.
doing this to each other, please?
Emily,
Nobody
Emily,
can understand a
can you
word
condemn the
either of
actions
you
of
saying.
Israel?
Now, let me come to Esther and James here. This is one of my problems.
No, I want to
actually.
hear if Emily condemns
No,
the actions
Hassan,
of Israel.
you
Why
will
don't you ask
please
her
let me
about that?
moderate the
Why
debate.
don't you ask her about
I don't condemn
30,000
the
people
idea.
I've got two
I
panelists
condemn
here
the
who've not
fact
had
that
a...
Yeah, why won't you ask her? Hey, Piers, why won't you ask Emily, who's rocking the IDF dog tag, which would be akin to me wearing an Al-Qassam Brigade headband, if she condemns the actions of Israel? You won't, because you fucking love Israel. You love the content. It lowered my fucking volume. Look how old this woman is. Oh my God, she's 22? I thought she was 35, bro. God damn, that shit is not good for your skin. I swear to God. Bro, being a fascist is literally the worst possible thing you could do. It ages you dramatically. Oh my Lord. I was like, oh yeah, she looks pretty good for 40. That's what I was thinking the entire time. Like, you know, that's 22? You're 22? God damn, son. Whoo! I got 10 years on her. I know people will tell you some bullshit like you're swearing or yelling as a turnout for the broadcast, but I gotta say, it's so fucking satisfying when you dog walk these fucking assholes and scream at them. Yeah, it is not as bad as I thought it was early on. I should have definitely kept my cool, but it's all things considered. I mean, I think people that watch this will probably come to the conclusion that it's impossible to keep your fucking cool. Yeah, see, many people are saying exactly what I was trying to say.
Word,
Exactly,
yes.
because you're a
They
fucking
kidnap
terrorist.
Please stop
civilians from their
talking.
homes. And I think you're a terrorist. And I think you're a terrorist as well.
Okay, well, I'm not the one wearing.
Because
I'm
until
not
the
one
hostages
wearing
are home,
the
don't expect the war to be
insignia.
over.
Yeah, I know.
Bring
you don't
them
care about
home.
the hostages. If you
I
cared
love
about
how
the
you're
hostages,
condemning
you would
me.
be
You are
screaming at
exposing
Benjamin
your
Netanyahu.
own terrorism
Benjamin
on live
Netanyahu
television.
is the hostage
you
killer.
are exposing. You know.
Benjamin
excuse
Netanyahu
me,
has
you
killed
should
more
condemn
hostages
Hamas.
than
What do
Hamas
I
You
have
need
to
to be
think you're...
condemning.
Nah, no shot. No shot. I'm not letting her get away with it. At that point, I'm like, nope, I know what's going on here. If you don't let me if you don't want to fucking be a moderator, then sorry, you don't get to have a fucking normal, cordial conversation. You think I'm going to let her fucking cut me off every single time and be like, look at the hostages. You don't care about the hostages. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. If you rage and make it funny, it's definitely good content, Lamau. I mean, I was raging. I don't know if it's good content for you guys, but I was definitely raging. You can definitely tell. This is like, I think this is the most, openly angry I've ever been on television. I usually have like a different voice that I use on TV where I will be a little bit more laid back. I'll be more careful. I don't curse. If you notice, I rarely ever curse on television. Okay? But this was definitely, it's good content, but I don't think it's good overall. I mean, it's just like the other chatters said, this was probably horrific to experience, but so fucking cathartic for you to say on major news media that loves to glaze Israel and lie just how fucked they are. It's just like, I would have liked this conversation to be cordial. I would have liked this conversation to be point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. That's not what's going to happen here. And I noticed that that's not what's going to happen here. And I tried to hold on. I tried to hold on for as long as I can to the cordial attitude that I brought to the table, literally up until like, you see the breaking point. Okay. I'm trying to do as best as I can. It's only palatable because you're talking us through how it felt. I would never watch this on my own. I know. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There is no way that I was going to let her do propaganda without addressing it. Okay? I would rather die than let a program that I'm on mainstream media, or well, I guess this is technically no longer mainstream media anymore. I don't know if it's still on TV or not, but it doesn't matter. I'm not getting on a fucking program and letting an Israel dick rider propagandize bad faith talking points, point by point by point by point, and not fucking address it. And as soon as I knew that Piers was never going to let me fucking do a point by point retort, that's it. I'm not going to fucking let that slide. No. No shot, big dog. No way.
Achieving
Hamas
here.
talking about?
Not only oppressing the Palestinian people, but for spreading terrorism. I don't see your outrage at Hamas. Israel gave Gaza
All right,
back
listen,
in 2005,
I would like to, please.
and Hamas has turned
Can
this
you
into
both
a
please-
I think
terrorist
Hamas is the
haven.
lesser
instead of
Emily and
building a
Hasan,
safe
Hamas
can you
is
border.
please
the
show
lesser
some
evil.
courtesy
Hamas
to
is
the other
lesser
panelists?
evil in comparison to Israel.
Can you please stop talking, both of you, and
You
let
hear
the
me?
other two panelists have a
You want a
say?
soundbite, Pierce? I'll give you
Give
a
them some
soundbite.
courtesy. Please. Some courtesy for your co-panelists here. Now, Esther, this is one of the problems I have with this whole debate.
Yeah.
Is-
The debate goes out of control. The debate goes out of control. It's so crazy. It's like, yeah, dude, that's what happens when one side is literally fucking slaughtering children, okay? Thousands, by the thousands, slaughtering children, women, men, everyone, destroying the entirety of a fucking open air prison that they created, okay? Esther does save the day, by the way. Esther, fucking my queen, okay? I don't even know. The only thing I saw was that she's like a black conservative or something. So I literally thought that she was also coming for me right now. Turns out, queen, okay?
that increasingly, it just descends into a screaming match between pro-Palestinians and pro-Israelis.
And the biggest losers are the
has
victims
no
of this
respect.
war. 33,000 dead Palestinians, over 1,500
I don't remember what I said, that they fucking paused. They like
dead
straight up
Israelis.
lowered my
These are the
volume.
biggest victims of this, because you're shouting at each other and nothing is getting, like, you're completely, forget having no courtesy for us. You're completely disrespecting actual victims of this conflict, which, by the way, didn't happen in a vacuum. And I think that's the most important thing to say about this. None of this happened in a vacuum. Of course, October the 7th was an atrocity and it was completely unjustified. There was no justification for butchering people in the way that they did. But it didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the people that live in Gaza weren't even born at the time that Hamas came in power. So I really just, I despise this, you're a terrorist sympathizer, you're a genocide supporter, all of this, when really the people that we should be talking about deserve better.
Okay, James, on the wider point of these protests.
Well, I couldn't get to that part because I wanted to describe what the apartheid is, and
Okay.
Emily cut in immediately to chirp about some random shit.
Okay, you were both abusing each other. It was very unsatisfying.
It was very
let
clear.
me ask James. James, on the protests.
dude.
Yeah, let's ask this fucking guy. dude. I'm a little too comfortable with my faux status in the community, obviously, because this is a very queer community. And you guys know where my position is on the matters, right? Like, I've been a fucking radical ally to LGBTQ momentum in the country for a very long time. I'm telling you something right now. It was very hard for me not to say, like, who the fuck is this pink-haired twink? Okay? It was because I was like, if I say some shit like that, people are going to be like, oh, this dude is homophobic, and write me off as like, oh, this dude's definitely homophobic. Because dude, I was trying so, not a slur, obviously, but god damn, son, god damn. It was just like, what the fuck is this guy doing here? What is this guy doing here? Why is he a part of this conversation? Look at my face. I'm like, yeah, let's hear from this fucking dude. Let's hear what he has to say.
On the protests, look, I believe in the right to protest. That's an absolute bedrock of any democracy. But I don't believe in the right to support terror groups publicly, or to chant about support for Hamas, or to chant about intifada, which is a violent uprising. Where's the line for you with these?
I agree. I think we have to condemn what Hamas did, and I don't think the words that have been used so far have been strong enough. I mean, it was the worst.
Yeah. We haven't condemned Hamas strong enough, dude. Yeah, you're right, dude. I should literally fucking give more money to Israel. Please. I just paid my taxes, bro. I am literally the #1 Palestinian baby killer at this point, and it's not even up to me, okay? The fuck do you mean? I have paid for the death and destruction of the Palestinian lives without my fucking consent way more than any of these dumb fucking British people have, okay? Shut the fuck up. Shut up. If it were up to me, I would be giving them the Iron Dome. Okay? That's what they deserve. The Palestinian people deserve the Iron Dome. Okay? Let's even out the fucking playing field.
Best thing we've seen in a very long time. It was disgusting, appalling, awful for everyone involved. I also have a lot of sympathy, if not, I can't think of a bigger word, for the people of Gaza. It's awful, and I will agree with you. I do want a free Palestine, and I also want a free and successful Israel, but I don't want innocent people murdered. So yeah, you can't go to a protest and start shouting about support for Hamas. That's insane.
Isn't it ironic that something like this has become a haven for like the mentally unwell? You're talking about something as serious.
Yeah, this is where I was like, what is she saying? Like, she was so good with the fucking, like, Israel, like, this wasn't in a vacuum shit. And then she's like trying to both sides it too. I know I got no fucking love for anybody that is like straying away, even remotely. Even the dude, the driver, like the guy who owns the rental, like, moving studio. After this conversation ended, he was like, so what's up? Like, I mean, I don't know how you deal with that. And I was like, yeah, I know. And then he even like tried to, in a very kind way, be like, so do you just have no, like, do you just not leave any room for people who don't agree with you? And I was like, listen, there are plenty of things that I can have cordial disagreements with, but genocide is not one of them. You know what I mean? It's just not. Like, that's it. When it comes to ethnic cleansing, I don't think there is a fucking half measure. You know what I mean? There isn't. Like, there was no. She was like, "What do you mean apartheid?" Like, liberal Zionists at least are embarrassed about the West Bank. You know what I mean? She was not. Like, defending Netanyahu. I gave clear markers. I gave a clear out. Like, I know how these conversations go. I know all the talking points, and I know all the fucking retorts. I've had it a million gorillion times, right? So I know how this works. So I'm giving her fucking outs, basically, to be like, yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu, we both hate him, right? I did that. The West Bank mention is a very good way to figure out like what level of ultra Zionism you're on, okay? And I know that Israelis in the chat will attest to this as well. Liberal Zionists also will openly say, yeah, the West Bank is fucked up, and you know there's plenty of debate on this issue in Israel, and yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu is a corrupt madman. But she's over here literally fucking defending Benjamin Netanyahu and defending the settlements of the West Bank. And she says some even more unhinged shit later down the line, which is very odd because here she is in July 31st, 2020, wishing everyone a happy Eid. Eid Mubarak. So what happened? I'll tell you what happened. I know exactly what happened. What happened is media, okay? She got a media opportunity. Sometimes you have to go to the Norman route and just make them look like imbecile clowns. It's very hard to have a conversation with someone who doesn't know what is happening or even what the definitions of words are type shit. Yeah, I did not have the Norm Finkelstein level of self-restraint.
As a conflict in Israel and Gaza, and for some reason you have really uneducated people that are clearly 20 years ago would have been in an asylum supporting this openly, not even knowing the conflict, not even knowing the context of what they're supporting, and for some reason we even give it airtime. That's what upsets me. These people don't deserve airtime. Right?
Everyone is so triggered on both sides, on all sides, and rightly so, because a lot of terrible stuff has happened. So that's where the emotion is coming from. But really, I think we all want the same thing, and that is for innocent people to not be murdered or slain in the streets.
Triggered.
Right. I mean, look, Hasan.
But
hang on, Emily,
something?
please, I'll come to you. Let me just ask Hasan. When you and Emily go at each other like you just did, nobody wins. I mean, no one can really understand a word you're saying because you're shouting over each other. You end up just calling each other terrorists. There's no sensible dialogue here. There's no constructive conversation. It's just two implacably opposed sides abusing each other. Do you understand that?
Yeah, listen, Piers, okay? This is going to always be a very heated discussion, okay? Having a conversation about how heated this discussion is utterly unproductive. Every single moment that we use on air, not talking about every single university building being desecrated, destroyed. The fact that we're having this conversation on the eve of hundreds of mass graves being unearthed right now in many different parts of Gaza, around hospitals that Israel had laid siege to, is disgusting. I agree. I came on here, as I have done last time as well, and as I will probably do in the future as well, with one simple goal in mind, which is to address all of the misinformation that surrounds stuff like this. As far as the crackhead Barbie thing goes, yeah, she's a random TikTok influencer who gives a shit about what she has to say. She's obviously doing it for clout. But the students over at Columbia, okay, the students that I have talked to.
This is where I try to like go back, because this is the reason why I'm there. They told me we're supposed to be talking about campus activism and the anti-Semitism that's like rising on campuses or whatever. So I'm trying to literally fucking steer the conversation back to that. But of course, because I'm doing that, Piers is going to fucking cut me off again.
At the Columbia University Apartheid Divest group, the students that I've talked to from Jewish Voice for Peace.
All right, Emily, let me just ask you.
Wait, what? Why did he cut that? Oh my God, they edited it. Look up the segment description. Terrorist sympathizers and genocide supporters. Crackhead Barney is obviously doing it for clout, says Hasanabi. I mean, that's such an obvious fucking... That's a gross edit, bro. How is this uncensored, Piers?
That I've talked to from Jewish Voice for Peace.
All right, Emily, let me just ask you the same thing I asked Hasan. When you guys scream at each other and call each other terrorists, it doesn't obviously achieve anything other than it becomes unintelligible to the audience. You know, is there not a better way we can have this conversation?
Funnily enough, correct. And funnily enough, I have the same exact answer as Hasan. My job here is to make sure that I'm debunking false narratives that Hasan is clearly spewing. My job here is to call out hypocrisy. And I just saw another one where he's saying that crackhead Barney, whoever the hell that girl was, is a lunatic, but Aaron Bushnell, who lights himself on fire, is a hero. You can't pick and choose whatever fits your narrative. And I keep on repeating.
I would say this much. When she mentioned Aaron Bushnell, she did that to like light a fire under my ass. I didn't eat that bait. But it definitely changed my energy a lot.
Repeating that over and over again, because the Palestinian movement will literally just take what they can get, spew all of the truth into their false narrative, spread misinformation, and then you say that we're the liars. You tell me I'm wearing an IDF dog tag. I'm wearing a bring them home for the hostages that you... No, it says bring them home.
You're using the hostages as a simple political tool to make propaganda in the West. Is quite disgusting. The protests that are happening in Israel right now are massive.
Humans in captivity are a political tool?
Look. Now I'm like, I got the smoke for your fucking dog tag too, dumbass. Here, listen to what I have to say.
Those protests,
what?
You are using humans in captivity as a political tool. It's so obvious.
Why, Hasan? Why are you dehumanizing the hostages? Because I have no problem admitting the Palestinians deserve better.
Not.
I feel terrible.
You're using them as a political pawn.
I can say that.
If you cared about the hostages, you would be in Tel Aviv right now.
Using the
alongside.
Right, let me bring in James.
Let's hear from fucking James, dude. Yeah. Thanks, Piers. Let's hear from James. I'm trying to be like, listen, if you're that mad about the hostages, you have to be mad at Benjamin Netanyahu. You have to be mad at Benjamin Netanyahu, who has killed all the hostages. It's a very simple point. That's it. That's the point. But I need to hear from James about how I'm wrong, actually, from a dude who has no fucking clue. Evil Owens Jones? No, I don't even want to use the same. I don't even want to invoke the name of Owen Jones, okay?
James, please.
I'm sorry that I can't.
Please, let me bring in James.
I agree with both of you.
Sorry, can you please, when I say stop talking, please stop talking. We've got 4 people here. James.
If anyone is using hostages, surely it's Hamas, Hasan. How can you say that? How can you use that argument? That's a crazy thing to say. It's Hamas that have taken these people from their homes,
tens of thousands of people in Israel. There are currently tens of thousands of Israeli citizens right now in the streets of Israel, in the streets of Tel Aviv, outside of Benjamin Netanyahu's house, protesting every single day. What are they protesting? They're protesting for Benjamin Netanyahu to facilitate a ceasefire with Hamas so that they can actually bring the hostages home. That is precisely the number one goal of the family members of the hostages.
Who
and
is
if
using the
anyone
hostages?
on this panel was being even a little bit honest, they would recognize the reality that, just listen.
You didn't listen to my question.
Listen to what I'm saying, and you will understand perhaps what I'm trying to imply
That's very
here.
patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I don't give a shit about what you're...
I lost it. I was like, I don't care. Who are you? Shut the fuck up. At least this dumbass next to me, at least is a little bit fucking knowledgeable. She knows the propaganda talking points. You don't even know. You thought he was a chatter for a second? He is less knowledgeable than an average gray name chatter in my community. Yeah, I did do that on TV. Because, who the fuck do you think you are? Who? Shut the fuck up. This is not your opportunity to fucking pad your CV so you can get a goddamn media spot later on as a fucking podcaster. Big boys are talking about fucking genocide. Put your fucking big boy pants on. Even she liked it. She liked it a little bit. Yeah, I even did the fucking accent. Here, you want to watch it again? Here.
Very patronizing.
Utilizing the hostages. Yeah, I am being patronizing. I don't know who the fuck you are, and you're over here chirping all the way from fucking London about Palestine and doing a both sides are fucking fine type bullshit where you're talking about how you want to fucking free Palestine, but also simultaneously, both sides got a lot going on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything, okay? I don't give a shit about what your perspective is.
I agree.
Hassan doesn't like what you have to say,
so
you're wrong. It's Hassan's way or the highway.
I mean, you
wow,
are.
Really
There is no both sides on a genocide. Is there a both sides on a genocide? There is no both sides.
Well, the thing is, it's interesting you should mention the hostages.
What is
no
in the
both
Hamas
sides
charter? They want
apartheid.
Jewish genocide, but that's okay. But
the
Jewish
thing is,
genocide is okay.
if you're talking about the well-being of the if you're talking about the well-being of the hostages, what sense did it make for the IDF to flatten?
Thank God my queen comes in and just because I'm a lightning rod for everyone there, she can just get away with saying good things, okay? She can get away in that very moment when everyone's attention is locked on the top of the hour ad break where there's a 3-minute ad break, okay? My queen, okay? My beautiful queen. Thank God. Like I said, I don't know anything about this person's perspective, but here she banged, okay? She banged. She popped. Anyway, I'm perfectly fine being the unhinged person that serves you the 3-minute ad break as long as you, of course, subscribe to avoid those ad breaks. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I thought they muted me a lot more. It doesn't come across as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I am progressively getting more and more unhinged, as you can see. And I think the breaking point was when I said, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I don't know who the fuck you are. Trying to both sides genocide. Do you think Piers will invite you again? Fuck yeah, he will. He invites Rabbi Shmuley, bro. He doesn't give a fuck. He just likes clicks. More up, dog. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Piers has been asking me to go on for weeks at this point. I'm the one who says no usually.
In about 70% of Gaza. Because I completely agree. Bring the hostages home. If you look at Gaza, the topography of Gaza right now, it looks like a pancake. So I'm sorry, this whole argument of Hamas using them as human tools, fine, but the IDF has also been using it to continue that campaign. If you were told that if, God forbid, if your relative was one of the hostages and you saw what's happening right now, and I met someone whose mother is a hostage, and he said he didn't want his mother and her being taken to be used in the name of violence. Right now, he's sitting at home wondering, okay, what is the logic of trying to bring my mother home when you flattened Gaza? Please explain that to us.
So Can I pose
Because
a question
you might very well pull those.
No answer. Can I pull a question to you? Hello? You have asked me a question that makes me look bad because I am defending a violent apartheid state. Hello? Are you also Hamas? Brother, how did you now respond to saying Gaza wasn't flattened, that it needs to be fact-checked? No, I'm not even listening to what she's saying. I'm listening to what my queen is saying, okay? Because she's fucking... right now, at this point, I'm like, brief moment of solace. Finally, some like actually pro-Palestinian sentiment, which is, by the way, just the truth, which is hilarious that we are saying like, oh, something that is like pro-Palestine is being said. But it's just like someone is actually asking understandable questions about the glaringly obvious at the cleansing campaign. I literally was just like, oh, thank God. I was not listening to anything she said because I did not want to get even more mad. Also, I apologize to the pink hair guy, okay? I don't know what you're about, but, you know, sorry, you kind of were an unforeseen casualty in the situation. Maybe I shouldn't have fucking been like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything. But it does seem like you were giving me some like NPC ass, like both sides arguments over and over again. And I don't really care in that moment. Okay. I'm sorry. Bro, don't apologize. No, it was just like, it was inappropriate. I probably shouldn't have fucking lasered him so goddamn hard. Okay. I am beginning to feel like this wasn't as bad as I thought it was, though, because like the bulk of this is like pretty solid. I did get the points out. I did talk about it. I did try to recenter the conversation towards the CUAD, Columbia University Apartheid Divest. I did, I desperately tried to talk about, what is going on the ground. She was able to like offer some clarity. You're way better at getting your points out when you're screaming than when you're trying super hard to keep a civil law. Yeah, because when I'm civil, they're fucking eating my ass.
Okay,
let Emily respond to that.
Everyone wants to criticize the IDF's response, but nobody wants to tell me what should Israel be doing to retaliate October 7th, eradicate Hamas from preventing another October 7th, and bring the hostages home.
I have an idea.
Do you have a solution?
I have an idea. Do not flatten Gaza and potentially pull your own hostages up from under the rubble, like have been done with thousands of Palestinians. That's a good idea. Yeah. Have you found any of them under the rubble?
So you're saying that you don't have an answer.
That is the answer.
So you
don't kill your own hostages.
But you're quick to condemn the IDF, but you don't have an answer.
How about not killing the hostages?
Very interesting.
I have an answer.
Thank you for proving my point.
It's called the dissolution of the apartheid regime. That's what it's called. Dissolve the apartheid regime.
So what would you like to see happen,
Palestinians
Hasan?
breathing room. Do you not understand the English language? Dissolve the apartheid regime.
You need a Xanax, first of all. You need a Xanax. Okay, so should Israel...
You need a Xanax. Bitch, I just told you what I mean. That felt pretty good, too. She thought she ate that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fucking emotional and passionate about the country that you're defending, slaughtering children every fucking day of the week. Okay. Yeah. I should have. Yeah. The best retort in that situation would be like, you need fucking lithium because you must be mentally ill if you think what Israel is doing is right. Okay. But I didn't say that. That's like shower conversation at that point.
Israel do to the West Bank what they did to Gaza?
Have been ruthlessly slaughtered by the Israeli state. It makes me a little upset when someone is defending that.
Gaza? Is that what you...
Yeah. Okay. So...
Okay, so should Israel do to the West Bank what they did to Gaza?
Have been ruthlessly slaughtered by the Israeli state. It makes me a little upset.
They should have fucking raised my voice a little bit. That's bullshit. Bro, you made her look stupid along with the black lady. Wait, what? No, I didn't make the lady look stupid.
Someone is defending that.
Gaza? Is that what you'd like to see? Another terrorist haven launching rockets all day instead of turning it to Singapore? Because that's what they did in 2005.
Wait, hold on. What is Singapore?
The billions of dollars in aid they turned into building tunnels. Is that what you'd like to see?
I don't know. Have I gone
Singapore every day?
Sorry, Emily, is the West Bank supposed to be Singapore?
What are you talking about?
Is the West Bank supposed to be Singapore?
The West Bank received The West
West Bank?
Bank has a port. They can import and export. Israel gave them a great piece of land. They received billions of dollars.
Okay, this was another one. This was another moment. When she said Israel gave them a great piece of land, I was like, Israel gave them? Israel gave them? Israel gave them? Are you out of your fucking mind? Israel gave them? Liberal Zionism falls apart so goddamn quick. By the way, at least I was able to fucking shut him up from trying to both sides of the situation a little bit. She doesn't even know her own goddamn talking points, dude.
Not only from
Israel
the
gave
U.S.,
them a great
but
piece of
Israel
land?
gave. Are you
No.
mad? They had a chance to rebuild, but they spent the last 15 plus years crying that they don't have enough land because there is never enough land for them instead of rebuilding. But that's okay. Build terrorist tunnels. Don't build hotels and don't rebuild
Israel
civilization.
has
Just build
not
terrorist
allowed
tunnels and put hostages
Palestinians
in.
to have a nation state that they deserve by international law since the inception of the Israeli nation state. What you are saying is insane to me. The fact that you brought up the last 15 years as Palestinians crying is disgusting.
Oh, I have one more question.
You are a disgusting little monster
one more question.
who thinks
One more
that
question.
not offering contiguity to the Palestinians in the form of a state, which is under international law, is just simply Palestinians
I have one
crying.
question.
Okay?
This
problem
West
is Palestinians
Bank,
don't want a
Singapore.
two-state
Hold on.
solution.
You're a disgusting little monster. Dude, I wanted to say so much more. I wanted to say so much fucking more. I just, Piers was not having a good time with this. Not gonna lie, I hate watching debates like this. They fill me with anxiety because honestly, it's disgusting to why someone lies so damn much in the face of someone who's very genuine and honest. And there's so many lies, you can't address them all. I think I did a pretty decent job of like not letting her get any fucking breathing room. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I was actually very upset. I'll be honest. I was very upset with my own performance in the aftermath because like you can't get emotional because there's different audiences that you are talking to when you talk in a debate, right? Number one, you're talking to your side. So you can't be like capitulating. You can't be giving a fucking inch to people who are being monstrously obtuse and defending genocide for moral reasons and even from the perspective of optics. The other audience you're talking to is the side of those who are defending Israel. You're usually not going to be able to, convert them. But then there's also the less enthusiastic, less interested participants that are watching, the people that you actually can move in either direction. Those guys are less enthusiastic and not really interested in what the fuck's going on. And if they're not interested in what the fuck's going on 7 months into an ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign, then it's going to be really hard to shake them. And I know for a fact that like coming across as passionate in this situation means you got fucking quote unquote owned. You know what I mean? So because of that, because of my knowledge of how this works, because of how I understand how this works very well, I thought that I was doing worse as a consequence of being emotional, as a consequence of being passionate. Okay. But I do recognize now that it didn't come across as bad as I thought it was.
They
This
want
West
a
Bank,
one-state
Singapore.
solution that eradicates the Israelis, which is not an option.
Fine. This West Bank,
You're wrong.
Singapore, what place
You're wrong.
does the settlements play in that? How? Please paint a picture of how the West Bank of Singapore or whatever, Singapore of the West Bank. How does this illegal settlements fit into
Ma'am,
that?
I think you're completely missing.
Ma'am.
You're missing the picture.
Just explain to me
Israel
how the
wanted to
settlements
give
fit into
them
that picture.
A piece of land. I'm explaining it.
Okay, I'm
The
listening.
picture is they got a great piece of land to turn into society. Instead
Who
of turning
got
it
the
into
land?
civilized society,
Who did?
Israel gave the land to Gaza. They
So then why the
withdrew. They
Israeli
removed
settlers?
Israelis
It's not Israel's
from
land
their
to give.
homes.
But
It's
then
not
why
Israel's
were
land to
Israeli
give.
settlers
It is
then?
not Israel's land to
2005.
give.
There are no Jews or Israelis. There are no settlements in Gaza.
In the West
they
Bank.
gave it to
in the West
the
Bank.
Palestinians.
They're not in the West Bank.
I'm speaking about Gaza, and now
I'm
you're
asking
changing
about
the
West
narrative.
Bank because I was interested
I'm
in knowing about
showing
Singapore.
I'm telling you that if Israel
Palestinians-
pulls out completely from the West Bank, if Israel pulls out from the West Bank, you can bet your ass it turns into the next Gaza. The world does not need two Gazas because one Gaza has already caused enough damage. If However,
Yes.
Gaza decides to demand
Every
that
argument with
Hamas
Israel
removes
is
themselves
about
from
some
power,
hypothetical.
and they
It's-
can have democracy.
Israel has to do a
then yes,
genocide
there's
because if
potential for
Israel
a
doesn't do a
two-state
genocide,
solution.
then the Gaza
There's
It
no
sounds a bit
genocide.
like
The
you're
only
victim
genocide
blaming
is the
Palestinians
Hamas
in
charter that
Gaza.
wants to
cannot
eradicate
do
the Jews.
defensive genocide.
You know, it's interesting the word
do defensive
genocide
genocide.
because
Yeah, here is where Piers really grinds my gears. Here's where he really fucking grinds my gears. It's true though. I was very mad when I got back. I was so goddamn mad when I got back. I was so goddamn mad that I was literally like, I don't even know if I can go to the fucking gym right now. I'm so fucking pissed. I have to pee, and I don't want to miss this moment, but here, you'll see.
hang on. It's
There's
interesting the
no
word. It's
genocide
interesting. Hang
happening.
on.
It's just a
Israel is
buzzword.
doing
I would love to get a
Genocide.
word
We
in,
allow it.
please. Interesting the word genocide, because I've listened to all this fractious debate, everyone talking over each other. The truth is that actually only one side is publicly said that they wish to pursue a genocide, and that is Hamas. Hamas, after October the 7th, through their official spokesman on camera, said they wanted to do it again and again and again. That is the purest articulation of a genocide imaginable. And the one thing I never hear from the pro-Palestinian side
You
is
really think
what Israel was
Piers,
actually...
Piers,
Hang on.
Piers,
No, don't
Piers.
interrupt me.
So one
But I haven't
Hamas
asked you a
official,
question yet.
One Hamas guy.
Sorry, I
But
need to
that's
ask you a
ridiculous.
question.
You're being a ridiculous person.
I'm not
You're
being
being a ridiculous person.
I'm just saying, nobody ever
Because
tells
how
me...
many Israeli officials, even on your show, have said we should keep doing what we have been doing to Gaza over and over again? How does that not register in the same genocidal intent? If you think what that dude was saying, which was, by the way, ridiculous what he was saying, the Hamas official was saying, is that we're going to do October 7th over and over again.
But he said it.
We are justified in doing it over and over again. Yes, I find that to be abhorrent. However, what you fail to recognize is that's the genocidal intent, but not Amalek. That's the genocidal intent, but not saying we are fighting human animals. And that's why we have to cut off their food, their water, and their electricity. That was Defense Minister Yoav Gallant
There
who
we
said
go with
that.
the lies
Benjamin
again.
Netanyahu
You're saying
has
Israel
routinely
cuts
talked
off their
about this over and over
electricity.
again.
They don't even
Israeli
provide
interior
their
security-
electricity.
Israeli,
You're saying they cut off their water. They don't cut off their water.
politicians.
You are
Israeli-
spewing lies on
Can
national
you stop?
television.
Can you? I'm
I
talking
think,
about
I think so. Hang
No,
on.
because
It's not
I'm not,
about
I'm
you.
not
Again,
gonna
you're
stop. I'm
talking
not gonna
over
let you
each other.
spew lies.
Some of
I'm
the
sorry,
some of the
name me another
comments.
army that
There's no
provides
doubt,
aid
Emily.
to people they're at war with.
Some of the
Only
comments.
Israel.
Some of the.
Israel is
No, Piers,
All
I'm not
right.
letting him
the
spew
most
misinformation.
caring
I'm not
country
letting
on
him
the
spew
fucking
blatant
planet. I
lies
swear to
on
God.
television.
Start it again.
It's just-
I love Piers being like, yeah, it's real genocidal if that one fucking Hamas dude, like fucking 7 months ago, being like, what Israel has done to us, gives us the justification to do 1,000 October 7s, and it would still be righteous, right? Like him saying that is genocidal, but fucking Amalek is not. It's ridiculous. These interviews, it may also be good to bring up the 2005 disengagement was literally done to prevent a Palestinian state. This was best explained by Sharon's advisor Dove, put him on a diet. Weissglass, they withdraw as a unilateral move to sidestep the PLO and kill the U.S.'s roadmap. Yeah, the issue is that I don't think anybody's going to fucking listen to what's going on. You know what I mean? They're like, no, nobody's listening. Hey. Kaya, please, baby. Kaya, please. Quoting Israel is lying. Yeah. It's so goddamn unhinged, dude. Ay. You can tell the progress being made because the prevailing notion of withholding water and electricity went from, well, it's necessary to the desperate. Well, actually, we don't know that we don't control their resources. Yeah.
It's pointless. We're getting nowhere.
No, because he's
Thank
spewing
you.
Did Yoav Gallant not say that?
Israel's cutting off electricity,
Okay.
water, and aid. Just
We're getting-
Did
spewing
Defense
lies. I'm not
Minister
gonna let
Yoav
you do it.
Gallant say we are fighting human animals or not? Answer that question. Did Defense Minister Yoav Gallant say we are
Hamas
fighting
is
human animals and we have to cut off their
Hamas,
electricity,
correct.
cut off their food, cut off
Correct.
their water?
Okay.
Yeah, the slight
You know what? I'm
Israel-
going to cut
Israel
off. I'm
provides
going to cut
7 to
off.
9
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, get on your phone. Maybe you'll find a quote in there that'll help you, dumbass. Fucking genocidal dumb fuck. Emily getting mad at you for lying when you literally just repeating verbatim what Yoav Gallant said on day one of the war. She doesn't even know her own country's lore. I know. She had to Google it to check, to then fucking turn around and be like, okay, maybe he did say that. The contrast of the scorched earth collective punishment takes on Gaza with their perpetual victimhood makes my blood boil every time. How could anyone with a conscience not get worked up at that? I know. It is the fucking arrogance. It is the unimaginable fucking arrogance that comes from the side that is also trying to defend, in the shittiest ways possible, an ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign. That is like the most mind-boggling, most mind-numbing aspect of this, okay? I can't believe you apologized to the pink hair guy. Stop. You deactivated the pink hair dude so effectively. Yeah, it's just like, sit down. Big boys are talking. You know what I mean? I was not letting that shit slide any longer, okay? Oh, well, both sides are at fault here. Anyway.
9% of their electricity. The rest is Hamas.
I'm going to cut off the
That's
debate
not
because
Israel.
we're getting absolutely
Israel provides-
nowhere. But I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you very much indeed.
He loves it. Look at his face. Look at his face. He fucking loves that shit, dude.
Well, the boring...
He's dumb, by the way, for putting this as like the crackhead Barney video, because it's not going to do well. Emily and Piers are asking us on two different questions that cut him off while he's answering the other one's question, then accuse him of not answering. What a mess. Why is Piers Morgan bringing up October 7th to Hasan when they already discussed it 1,000,000 times and he condemned it 1,000,000 times? When Hasan calls her a demon, I fucking died laughing. As a Jew, I have to admit the only sensible person on the panel was Hasan. You did Ninja bad, bro. I mean, the comment above is discussing the cut. Yeah, I saw that there was a person. What's up with the abrupt cut at 28:13? Piers is so disingenuous. Why hasn't he talked about the 7 aid workers who were killed by Israel, most of who were British ex-military? What a coward. Is a good convo. Stay away. The narrative that student protesters are violent. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't let me fucking... I did actually talk about that. That's the... I'm pretty sure the part that I got cut off on was literally me talking about, like, what the demands of the student protesters are and how they do not want to center themselves in the conversation. She shows pictures of Israeli hostage without limbs of the Palestinian mom who said, the arm belongs to my son, this leg belongs to my daughter. When in cut back, you were mentioning JVP. Yeah. It actually wasn't bad at all. I'll be honest. I think I was being much harder on myself, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what the broad reception is. But I don't even think that like Destiny's dick riders are going to look at this and be like, Hasan got owned here. They'll try to say that I was unhinged or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious that I was like, there was a lot of fucking grenades being lobbed in my direction that I was able to counter effectively to the best of my ability when the fucking host is cutting me.